And for further analysis, we're joined from Moscow by Mr. Asif Mulhid, writer, political researcher. Welcome to Q News, sir. Now, how realistic is President Trump's call for a direct peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, given, of course, the current military and political landscape?
Good afternoon to you and to your dear viewers. According to my estimations, in reaching a comprehensive, just and sustainable peace, I think that will need more time. The Alaska summit of Putin and Trump cannot end all the causes of the conflict, as it is a very complicated conflict, technically speaking. Even the ceasefire in the front is in a very complicated with respect to the follow-up and implementation. So we cannot hold the summit that it is just a springboard. Before Ukraine is in a very difficult event, is trying to prolong in the war, more casualties in the Ukrainian army, in addition to the great losses of the Ukrainian assets. So there is no more options before the Ukraine in fact, everyone is exhausted. Ukraine and Russia, along with Europe and United States, and has fears of the influence of the new allies between Russia and China within BRICS. That would threaten the domination of the dollar and the financial institutions in the United States. This was warned by the United States by saying, approaching with Russia, that would dismantle the alliance between Russia and China. The Alaska summit formally is a good step, but according to the leaks, there are no more leaks about the details of the summit, as it was a very in-camera meeting.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of security guarantees and territorial arrangements are likely being discussed in such talks?
With respect to the security guarantees, in fact, there is no clear formula as such. The problem is what happened. European countries, along with US, have agreed to provide security guarantees participated by the United States. Through such announcement did not include any such security guarantees, and said also the guarantees aren't going to be provided by the NATO. Russia considers the presence of any troops affiliated to Ukraine is a red line for it. In the future, how for the guarantees would be look like, nobody knows. There are no formulas as proposed deploying troops, fast interference by Poland. Anyway, we have to wait and see the amount of devastation in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. So how significant was Putin's symbolic ride with Trump in the called the Beast, and what does it reveal about US-Russia relations now?
With respect, having Putin and Trump in the same vehicle, as they send in a message to the whole world, as they are all capable leaders to laying out the features of the new order and determine the power influence. There are several powers in the conflict of the world order, such as China, India, Russia, European Union, and the US. Therefore, as if it is a signal to the rest of the whole world that the biggest nuclear powers are the ones to determine, if I may say, the features of the new world order. No one knows how it is going to look like and how it is going to be crystallized, but I think it is the only message I think about it to the whole world.
Mr. Mulhim, do you believe European sanctions on Russia are still an effective tool, or have they reached their limits now?
With respect to the sanctions, in general, there is a general calculations with this regard. It's in fact very limited. Russia's been sanctioned before, along with each package is looking for a come out, and has been successfully to do such a thing. According to my submission, for the sanction cannot be having a strong and direct sanctions with Russia, as Russia reshaped its ties with the whole world. So we cannot be limited or contained by Russia unless if the whole world is going to punish or have sanctions against Russia.
How might European leaders balance continued support for Ukraine with Trump's push for direct negotiations?
With respect to the European continent, up to this moment is very much insisted to prolong the war. They think that Russia would attack some other European countries after Ukraine. I think there is no intention for Russia to attack any other European countries unless if a country made some activities within its borders. So Europe is very enthusiastic for the war without any advanced and American support. Otherwise, Europe cannot support Ukraine for good, and it is a pressure for the US to use pressure in Ukraine to force it to resort to the negotiation table or to listen and the saying that this war should come to an end by all means.
What role should President Zelensky play in these future talks? How could Ukraine ensure that it is not sidelined in a US-Russia-led framework? Should Zelensky now be part of these negotiations or just depend on President Trump in this regard?
I think, according to my estimation, the US is going to pressure Zelensky forcibly to accept the proposals. So ultimately, Ukraine should be represented. The whole thing goes on the territories of Ukraine. Russia and US are present, but the other powers, particularly the EU countries, and whoever is going to represent Ukraine, so the negotiations aren't going to succeed on a table. Even filling the post in Ukraine to Mr. Shuker, the parliament speaker, can represent Ukraine in an international arena. But I think in the future we will see the representation of Ukraine as in such negotiations, and this cannot be happened but with the presence of Ukraine or whoever is going to represent the Ukrainian people.
Well, from Moscow, that was Mr. Asif Mulhim, writer, political researcher. Thank you so much for joining us here on Q News.